Hey there, and welcome aboard Nautical Nolands. We're Dane and Tonya Noland, and we're turning our dream of life on the water into a reality. One project, one sail, and one salty adventure at a time. We're renovating our 1982 sailboat from the inside out. DIY upgrades, real-life lessons, and honest takes on the highs and lows of boat life. And we're exploring the Pacific Northwest, discovering the wild beauty, calm moments, and endless freedom that life on the water brings. So if you're into sailing, boat projects, or just love a side of good adventure, subscribe and join us for the ride. This is Nautical Nolands. Hello everyone, welcome back to Nautical Nolands. It has been months and months since we've made any content to share on here, and I have a very good reason for that. In October of last year, so 2025, we had ordered a new mainsail because the sail on Juniper is the original sail from 1982. She was looking a little tired, a little stretched out. I mean, she's 40, and as somebody who's in that realm of age, I sympathize. But the thing is, she had a hole forming in the very part of the top sail, and so it was just time to refurbish and basically replace her. So we've been working with Doyle Sails to get pricing since last summer, but it was just kind of like a lot of things happening from regattas and things like that where Doyle is happening, that they just get pulled into those areas. So we have actually been without a mainsail for about 6 months at this point. It's middle of March 2026, and so she's kind of just been sitting there. So not a lot of content to share with you all, but this video is all about what it takes to install a new mainsail. We are going to be getting lazy jacks, a stack pack, and really importantly, we have a strong track, which wasn't originally part of our sail design plan, but it had to become one about in January of this year when we were just consulting back and forth with Doyle. So what happened essentially was they came out, measured our setup for our mainsail, and essentially what didn't get measured was the track that pulls the sail up from the boom. So that being said, the design that they came to us with wasn't actually going to work with our current setup. So in order to make the design work, which we are doing a tri-radial sail that's meant for sailors, sailing vessels / cruising vessels, so it's going to be fast, but also great for cruising, which is kind of our primary motive for having a sailboat. So in order to make this sail that was designed and finished in November of last year work, we had to upgrade the track. So again, the place that pulls it all the way to the top of the mast. And it was definitely an upsell. It wasn't part of our original quote. We had already fully paid for this sail end of last year, and we could not install it because the track was not going to work with the design. So we've been working with Doyle on just like, how can we make this work? What can you do for us, since you're the professionals who essentially measured this for us? And they came back to us saying that we needed to do a strong track. So this was something that, we both were like, this sounds like a major upgrade. And after seeing videos of them online, we're like, wow, this is going to be so nice. It's going to be so easy to raise a sail one-handed, even if you wanted. So the thing was, as somebody who often is the one teaching people on our boat how to bring the sail down and do a lot of the things, one thing that gets really kind of hard to train people in the moment, especially when winds are gusty, is how to accordion fold the sail when you bring it back into the marina and store it. So the last thing I wanted to do was have something as efficient as a strong track, and everyone says they drop like a rock, which was really a little intimidating to me, because in big winds by myself, I don't want to be having to have a billowy sail out there as well and just have it drop so fast that I can't control it, or am having trouble training someone how to help me with it. So basically the upsell from Doyle was, why don't we also get you a stack pack and lazy jacks? So that is something that's also coming. Doyle is going to be coming out in the next 2 days to help us install the lazy jacks. So what we are going to be doing in this first part of this video is installing the strong track, which you can see came today. So this is what we're doing tonight. Luckily it's not raining, there's no snow, and there's no crazy wind. So this is what we'll be walking you through, is stage 1 of putting the strong track into our mast. So stay tuned. And just a quick update, we were going to install the strong track a couple days ago when it was like sunny and not super windy or rainy. But when we got down to Juniper, we just kind of thought the better of just waiting until the representative from Doyle Sails arrived, because we have to drill into the mast. And that's the last thing is we wanted to screw up, was drilling a hole that was too big, because the size of the test slider we got and the size in the instructions were radically different, and we can only cut once. So the last thing we wanted to do was really screw that piece up. So Doyle Sails is coming out today. He's on his way from Tacoma. Luckily, the actual sail arrived, which we weren't sure that was even gonna be here by the time he was here today. And yeah, so things are aligning. So plan is meet the Doyle Sails rep there. I'm gonna try to capture some video of getting the strong track installed, followed by the new sail. So, and I think we're gonna have to wait until he can come back out to get our stack pack, and he's measuring today for the lazy jacks. So it's not gonna be a full installation today. We still have to wait for the lazy jacks, I believe, and our canvas for the stack pack to be done, but we should have, by the end of the day today, a strong track and hopefully the sail installed as well. Because again, this is our first time doing anything like this, and the last thing we really wanted to do was mess up the basic setup for how this is going to attach and hold the weight of the sail as it moves up and down. So stay tuned for more.
All right, so what we're doing is we're installing our Tides Marine track. And so essentially it's an extra track that goes over this portion right here and allows us to have a really smooth, essentially allows our mainsail to drop and raise incredibly smooth. So what you gotta do is you gotta first figure out what piece measurements are gonna fit inside there. So you wanna know, of course, your gauge and your depth. They give us some cool little rings to do that. But for ours, ends up being an M is the width of it, because you just don't want it to wiggle at all. And then as far as depth, we came out at a 7, because you want it to be touching right up against the mast. And so to install the device, we need to actually cut out a good portion to be able to slide our track in and slide it all the way up to the top. They gave us this nifty little testing device. It's actually in the bag right between you underneath the silicone.
There we are.
So this right here is our measurement, so you can see it says M7 on there. And what I'm doing is I'm cutting out a section to be able to put this in so we can run it all the way up to the top and make sure that this actually fits. So right now I measured out the area. We wanted to go a minimum of 10 inches from the gooseneck up to here. And they said 3 inches on this length, but this thing's way longer than 3 inches.
Way longer, yeah.
So I gave us like a little bit of wiggle room. I think it's about maybe a 1/4 inch or so on the top and bottom of it, so that way I can slide it on in. I'm doing the cutting piece right now, and then we have someone from Doyle Sails coming out who's gonna help us install the rest of this, and then also install our new main. So,
which just arrived.
Yeah, happy
just
days.
in time. Bit of a blustery day to be installing a mainsail, but when in Washington.
It's not raining.
It's not raining, but you can see in the distance. Now we're just grinding it out so that it's got a smooth place to slide up and down. And this is one of the pieces that came out from the Dremel. So it just kind of fell out like this, but there was still some grooves in the actual part that we need to smooth out. The issue we're running into is that this part is so wide, it only partially slides in, so we need to keep like, well now it does. That's
Yeah, but I had to really finagle it.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, but I mean the good thing is though, like looking at this.
Fits.
Well, it did.
Ish.
So when I do get this clean, it's going to be perfect.
Right.
So I just gotta keep on sanding and grinding that down.
That's hard to see, but there's some angles in here that need to just be smoothed out.
Yeah, I can actually probably get it from my angle if you want.
We're clear. So far,
so good.
It's gone up this far.
It's good?
It's gonna make it.
Awesome.
All right, let's go ahead and start pulling it down.
Well, we managed to get it most of the way to the top. Just got an 1/8 of an inch at the very base.
So you'll need someone to attach the upper.
Doesn't matter. Go this way.
She's in. Yeah. It's a huge improvement on what we had. Welcome back to Juniper. We have some things that, aside from the sail, we needed to get done as well to make sure that we, don't get stranded out there. We had this happen to us last October. We took some friends out. We were trying to get the sails up, had the engine in idle, and it just slowly got quieter and died on us. So what we're thinking is, because we replaced the engine and we also replaced all of the fuel that had been sitting in this engine prior to us buying it years ago. So we just didn't go through the diesel as fast as we thought. We figured that when the old fuel got pumped out, there was potentially sediment that was blocking going through the filters essentially and cut off to the engine, which caused it to die on the spot. So that was kind of our last troubleshooting, because the motor shouldn't be the issue because that has been replaced. So here's what we've been doing to troubleshoot the filters. We replaced that the previous day, and then we kind of just encountered some other hurdles that we're going to be walking you through here in a second.
Okay, so when we changed out our fuel filter and oil water separator, definitely a lot of air that kind of got caught in there. Doesn't matter how much you fill it up, you're still going to get some air in there. And we were using the little manual pump that's on the motor. However, it's an old motor, and so it's snapped right off. But let's be honest, those things don't really work anyways. So that took a long time to do. So instead, I've added in a primer pump. It's a little primer right here that's in line. Put it ahead of our filter, so that way, you know, for one thing, it's less likely to collapse on you in case there's any kind of vacuum that happens. But also, if there's any degradation or anything that happens with the primer, it'll all get caught in the filter. We don't have to worry about that going to the engine. So we shut off our fuel line, got that closed off right in here, which is great. Next steps is we need to bleed out all of the air that is currently in our engine. So got a couple locations. I'll be priming it, loosening up this air bleed valve from the filter, so I'll fill that up. We got our low pressure pump right here, and so I'll be loosening this as I prime. Once I start to see bubbles go out of this and becomes full fluid, then I'm good to go. I can close that one up. Then we've got our higher pressure pump, which I'm not seeing at the moment, but I know is right around here. There we go. Yeah. This guy right there. Loosen that up, let some of the air out.
Can't see it, but somewhere in there.
Right here.
Ah, there we are. Okay.
Yeah.
Zoom in.
So loosen up on that, bleed the air out there. I don't think I need to get all the way to the injectors because there's also the injectors on top. A lot of people say online, you go ahead and loosen those. I'm kind of in the camp of like, I want to leave as less, so let me think about the right way to put it. The more I mess with, the more I am likely to mess up. So therefore, I'm trying to do as minimal amounts of loosening and tightening as possible to avoid me making bigger mistakes. Yeah. Bubbles are out.
Moment of truth. So we tried starting the engine and never really fully turned over. So what we're going to do is just try to like move up the lines to continue bleeding out any additional air that we missed the first go around and see if that solves the problem.
What we're going to be doing today, last time we were just replacing the fuel filter on the existing canister we had. Unfortunately, it's in a location where I just don't feel comfortable having it, mainly because us getting it in and out was really a big pain. And if there was ever an issue where we need to change out the filter, motor shut off, whatever reason, we wouldn't be able to do it efficiently. So what I decided to do is we're actually going to replace this unit with another one. We're putting in a Raycor 500 FG. And what will be nice is, at least with this, we'll be able to actually see the fuel on the inside of it.
This is where the current one is. And you have to wrap your arm around this area, and it's very hard to do when the boat is steady, let alone if we were underway.
Yeah, so we're replacing it with this thing that we actually got for $45 at a used boats place out in Paulsbo. But we have a vacuum gauge on it, so we can be able to see if it's getting, if it's starting to clog. We can also easily see the water buildup on the bottom. And we're going to move it further back into the engine compartment, so that way, if there's ever any issues, or even before we run this, start like for our daily excursion, we can pop open the hatch, take a look, see if we have any vacuum building up, but then also be able to check our coolant levels. So we're moving that, and then we're going to go ahead and replace all of our lines. So basically we are taking that out, and then I am going to duct tape this to the old line and just pull it through versus trying to thread it through. That way we honestly just keep with the natural flow of the current fuel line. It's a lot less work. Nice, simple, easy, the way I like to do business.
Okay, so what we've done is detached the old hose from the line coming from the fuel tank, which you can see right here. Then made sure to catch all of the extra fuel, not too much that was in there. Then we took duct tape and taped the new hose, which you can see here with all the numbers, to the old hose, and we're going to thread it underneath where I'm sitting into the engine compartment. So hopefully I reinforce this enough with the duct tape to make sure that it gets pulled through and doesn't get snagged on anything and doesn't detach.
Yep, the mindset is that since it is weaving through all the fiberglass down below, if we just can push and pull, we can get it done.
So we pushed in the hose down into that compartment down there. I pushed the new stuff through while Dane pulled. That's where we attached it.
It worked like a charm.
That only took like 30 seconds. And this is the best way to capture the footage from being inside the engine compartment.
All right, as you can see, this is an old location of our fuel filter, and it is not a very ideal location. To get in there, you have to do all kinds of crazy wrist maneuverability that I tweaked my wrist pretty bad on doing last time. And so what I'm doing now is we're actually, for the time being, I'm just going to disconnect and get rid of the cartridge, like the actual cartridge that's holding it in place. So we can dump the fuel out of that. Fuel line's already been drained from here. This luckily is a very small hose, so I don't anticipate very much fuel, but I've got drop cloth underneath just in case. So once we thread this out, we'll unbolt this, take the whole piece out. I'll probably leave the mounting in place just because it's been painted over here. I just don't really want to mess with that right now. But at least we can run all of our clean line, give ourselves a good amount of gap, and then we can safely secure it so it won't move while we're underway. Okay, so these right here are absolutely clutch. If you don't have them, I highly recommend getting them.
Pins
Wonderful, wonderful wrenchers. So that way you can get this nice and loose. And then now, because I'm working with fuel lines, I probably should put these on, huh?
Yep.
Safety first. So you can see it takes a while to unthread this thing.
It's in the
And
worst
it's
place
full
possible.
of all kinds of wonderful diesel fuel. So if you're shaking around and you're underway and you're knocking your head in this thing,
This is not what you want to be doing.
no, whenever I redesign something, I always think about the situation in which I'm going to be using it. Not just the task, but like more likely than not, when I'm actually taking this crap out, it's probably going to be under a lot of stress, maybe stuck in the middle of the water somewhere. You want it to be as simple as possible, in the easiest accessible place. And by definition, this is not it.
Definitely not.
Because you have to take this off to actually get the filter out. There we go.
Nice. Here's what we're replacing. This is the old one. As you can see, it is something you can't see through. Whereas this new unit, we can see exactly what's going on in this filter and this trusty pressure gauge as well.
Yeah. Well, the wonderful design of this thing, and why I'm actually kind of sad to get rid of it, is the simple ease of being able to look at this and tell whether or not there's actual water in your, fuel water separator. So that's gonna be a little bit tough.
Ooh.
Oh, you're dripping on yourself.
Gross. Whereas this one is see-through. So a huge improvement, at least for our boat. Okay, so we pulled all of the new hose all the way through the engine compartment, and we have this bulb on, which is going to help us essentially make sure that there's no air and help us move fuel through the lines.
Prime it.
And prime it. So got that all installed. The flow of fuel is going to be coming here towards the engine, and then I'm just going to use this clamp.
Hose clamp.
And tighten it right here so that we got a nice, oh, keeps moving. My hands have a little bit of diesel on them, of course.
Greaser.
Yeah. Yeah, just tightening, has to be tightened down a lot. Another Sunday of work at the marina, and this is typically what it looks like for us. All the beverages, second dose of coffee, a very late breakfast, but it's gonna fuel us to do what we need to do on putting in the Raycor water oil separator and move it to an actual place where we can, get things done and access it with ease. And luckily, we got a break in the storm to do some work in the engine. without it raining on us. I didn't expect to, but I beat Dane here, so I guess that means I can enjoy my breakfast until the work begins. And it's nice. It's like kind of sunny, but kind of cloudy. Cheers to on-the-go meals and boat projects that seem to never end. We have this huge starfish, one of many that just hangs out here along our slip. It's so pretty. Okay.
All right, yeah, so now we're just popping in the Raycor. We got a vacuum gauge on the top, which is awesome. And yeah, just gonna pop it in that corner there. Tony's gonna hold it in place. I've got some self-tapping screws. Put it in, and it's gonna be a tight fit. It's gonna be a little awkward movement, but I think we'll be able to make it happen.
Woohoo! So I'm going to be screwing this or threading this into the other side of the Raycor that we have installed now so we can get the fuel lines going. I don't have to do it by feel. It went on so easy.
Did you mean to have this hole in the outside of your boat?
I know, right? We have progress. Now both sides of the Raycor are hooked up to the new fuel lines, and the next step here is we have this bulb on there to pump any residual air out of the lines, and then hopefully we can start the engine up.
Rock and roll.
In the Pacific Northwest in spring, you are constantly trying to outrun any storms that may be coming over the mountains. So it's good we're getting this all sealed up before this dark clouds hit us. We don't want any water in this engine compartment.
Nope.
We have progress. Now both sides of the Raycor are hooked up to the new fuel lines, and the next step here is we have this bulb on there to pump any residual air out of the lines, and then hopefully we can start the engine up.
Rock and roll. Okay, so we've got that filled up. We're gonna fill it up, prime it. Then I'm gonna go ahead
What's
and
up,
change
Dane?
out.
You got the vein all rearranged yet?
And the Van Gang.
Yeah, the
Gang.
vein has been drained.
Yeah, you got it going?
I got it going. I'm just gonna get this primed out, and then I'm gonna change out one more fuel filter in the engine to make sure that that's good to go.
So when are you going sailing? Where,
When
guys,
Where
guys,
can I check it out?
Concerned about fun.
yeah, I'm concerned about your fun quotient.
Oh, we're good friends.
Yeah.
probably not a good ratio of work to fun.
Yeah, you got too much work, man. If you do too much work and not enough fun, the boat doesn't balance out.
Right.
That's
Gotta be
fair.
the proper ratio.
Yeah.
How's this thing?
All work and no play makes Jack a dull
Check
boy.
this out, man. Yeah, no, we got to get Juniper out today, man. You were talking like
You did say that
2
was
weeks
happening.
ago. So do the bare minimum. Get it
I
done.
see it.
You see it?
That looks
Dude,
awesome.
That's sweet.
Little plank.
Yeah, got a little primer
Yeah.
bulb on there and everything. So
What's that gauge in your hand?
got a vacuum gauge for it. So when I'm
Nice.
down there, well, it sucks. Well, you hope
Sucks
it doesn't
so good.
suck eventually. So what I do is I can go down and like if it feels like things are sucking, I can open it up and like, yeah, it definitely sucks right now.
Cool.
But I can tell ahead of time if I'm getting a clog, so that way I can change it out before I have an issue.
Right on. And you got new hoses on there?
All brand new hoses,
Totally hosed up?
total hosery.
Right on. All right, well, we'll give you like 20 minutes to get that filter replaced, and then we're going sailing.
Let's do it.
So,
Let's take her
don't,
first.
don't make us pirate your boat for you.
Do you have your Bluetooth speaker?
We sure do.
I got it right here.
The jams.
Got some tunes. All right.
This is what happens when you have awesome friends who want to take you out sailing.
You know, Emerald Lady was getting a little jealous of Juniper. Juniper was getting
A
pretty
little too green, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't want to steal Emerald Lady's thunder. Okay, it's time to prime the lines. I'm going to be using this bulb to do it directly to the ray core, and then Dane's going to be doing it directly on the fuel filter.
Yeah, there's a secondary or the primary fuel filter on it. Right there. I'm going to loosen the screw up, and it's going to kind of bubble out like soapy water. Once it becomes full fluid, we know that we have fully primed it, and there are no more air bubbles there. The next location is going to be right on the injector. I'm going to loosen that guy up, and we're going to do the same thing. Keep on pumping until air bubbles stop, and then we know that our engine and everything is completely primed. It's better than it was before.
That's much better.
Again.
Did you prime?
Wasted away again in Margarita, searching for my lost sugar song. Some people play when there's a fall.
We're back!
Tally ho!
Go ahead and pull her out. How is it? Much easier than before.
Try to head the way. When that Windex is going straight forward. Right there. Yeah. A little weight up there. Help. Whoa! A little more. There we go. That's good now. Yeah. Yeah. And then bear away.
Okay.
And a little Cunningham. That's your green line just to the inboard of your halyard. Yeah, give that a little bit. Okay. Oh, I did it on the reef. I did it in the wrong spot. That's on me.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay. We did it!
All right, we're on our win now.
Good job, Team Juniper.
That was
The Nautical Nolands.
so much smoother than before.
Finally putting positive fun quotient into the equation.
Thanks, guys, for pushing us out.
You got some words of inspiration for your followers?
Don't give up.
After months of projects, setbacks, problem solving, and long days at the marina, we finally got Juniper back out where she belongs, on the water. This whole process reminded us that restoring an old sailboat isn't just about fixing systems or checking boxes. It's about resilience, about continuing to show up even when things take longer than expected, and learning to adapt when plans change, because they inevitably always do. And somewhere along the way, you may need to be nudged to go out and increase your fun quotient when you surround yourself with good people. Friends who show up to lend a hand, make you laugh when you're frustrated, and remind you to step away from the projects to go out and enjoy your boat again. This lifestyle isn't just about the boat. It's about the people and the experiences you soak in when you're out on the water. And now we can finally look forward to sharing actual sailing adventures with you all very soon.